Hello, God bless. So this one is going to be on Aesop. Hopefully I can say it right this time around. Hold on. So it doesn't glare. This one. The trees and the axe. Quite fitting for the topic of today's society and homelessness. A woodman came into the forest one day carrying an axe without a handle. He sat down upon the mossy ground and looked about him rather helplessly. "What's the trouble, friend woodman?" inquired the friendly old oak. "I need a handle for my axe," replied the man. "Most any piece of wood will do." After a whispered consultation, the trees good-naturedly offered the woodman a fine piece of tough ashwood for a handle. But no sooner had the woodchopper fitted the heath with his axe, and he set to work on all sides, felling the noblest trees of the wood. The old oak, witnessing the destruction all about him, whispered to the cedar tree, "If we had not sacrificed our humble neighbor, the ash tree, to please the woodchopper, we might all of us remain standing for ages." Application: they are foolish who give their enemies the means of their destruction. How does this tie in to homelessness, you may ask? You have no issue giving Israel over $10 million a day. You are emphatic about how open borders are good and not a problem. You have no issue of supporting people who bring nothing into the mix, who have never been part of the mix, and you're giving them housing and medical and food and help with vehicles, like anything and everything. You have no issue with that. People who commit heinous crimes are locked up, and I've seen anywhere from like 40, 45, some say that's a really low number. And, you know, when you actually factor everything in, you're actually looking at 80,000 to house criminals that have absolutely no desire to live at peace with this in our community. And quite a few of them are not even citizens. You do not blink an eye. You do not gripe. Oh my gosh, and what is it? That one, we now I guess have, last I heard there's, what is it? Like the prisoners are rebelling because, they're not being paid for the work, man. It's forced labor. I'm sorry. Have you paid back your victims yet, at least financially? Have you paid the society back for the cost of the lawyer who defended you and the courts, the judge, and everything else? Have you paid for that bed you're sleeping on? The electricity bill, the water bill, the clothes you're wearing, the food you're eating and are refusing to eat at the moment? Are you paying for prisoners? Are you paying for the medical treatment you're receiving? And did you know now that if you are a prisoner, you can actually, for your mental health, on taxpayers' money, have your dick cut off? You can actually go through a sex change operation on taxpayers' money, and they deem it a health issue. And then if you're in Oregon, last I heard, they actually allow minors without the consent of their parents to have a sex change operation. I really hear no concern. I hear very little concern about the illegals. I hear very little concern about the refugees, but almost none, which, wow, you really need to look into people who are coming in here. And it's really interesting. I just saw someone like going about how great the Mexicans are and peaceful they are. And it's like, I know Mexicans, like American Mexicans. I've really never heard them be like, yeah, this is great, or they're all wonderful. They left for a reason. They don't want that lifestyle. And the ones I know, they were either born here legally or they came over here legally. They're all for the wall. They're pro-borders. Actually, when you get into it, though, you really have to search because it's not part of the official narrative. There's a lot of immigrants that do not want open borders. They left for a reason. And it wasn't to get ransacked yet again in another nation. So yeah, I don't really hear anything about that. I don't really ever hear anything about the criminals. I mean, it's always like, how we need to give them more. I mean, and please tell me, are you paying for did you pay for the TV? Are you paying for the cable in prison? Are you paying for the education programs and recreation programs and workout, area? What, prisoners, are you paying for? You have robbed society of innocence, of their money, of their purity, of their safety, and then you're going to cock an attitude because something other than sitting and zoning out for days to years to decades is expected of you. Prison system is the most jacked up system. So I don't know what needs to be gutted more, the education system or the prison system. But yeah, I mean, more often than not, it's like, yeah, they should be paid. This is really wrong, man. When are they going to help pay any of the bills they have? And then on the flip side, you have the truly poor and the true homeless. And we are being denied mail. We are being denied, soon we'll be being denied IDs altogether, which technically a lot of people already are denied IDs. We are getting harassed on any and every level. We're not allowed to sleep legally. We're not allowed to park our cars in most areas legally. We can't wash up legally. There's no safe place to go to wash up. I mean, shelters are not solutions and they're not safe. For the most part, like 99% maybe. We are being attacked on any and every level, being told that we're the problem. The housing is so off the charts with, I mean, we have these illegals and refugees coming in. I mean, they break and bend they break all the laws. Everyone looks the other way, and yet if you're white, everyone has their stink eye on you, like, what are you going to do? I'm going to catch you. But if you got a little bit of brown in you, hey, who cares? It's all good. I mean, oh my gosh, they have so many people to a house. Oh my God, I mean, like, across the board. I mean, I've even heard the one guy I know, he used to drive taxi, and you're only supposed to, they have a really weird system for taxi, and he noticed all the Muslims were like actually like renting a car, but passing it off every couple hours to a different person. They never got in trouble. Him and another white guy tried that, and wow, that was a gnarly ending to that career. I'm just stunned at how there is no issue with so many destructive people within our society, but you go apeshit over the homeless. And you may think like, well, and it's really, I'm always amazed how it doesn't matter what group of people you're dealing with, the absolute intolerance and hatred for the homeless. And again, it just brings up that poem I mentioned in one of my first videos I did. It's from a German pastor. And, it's like they came for me. Well, they came for those people, but I wasn't one of them, so I didn't speak up. And then they came for those people, and, well, I'm not one of them, so I didn't speak up. And then they came for those people, but I'm like, what business is that of mine? I'm not one of them. And then they came for me, and there was no one to speak up. This nation is being set on fire. We're being flooded. We're being poisoned. We're being invaded. Our Russia, again, well, years back they called for a one world currency. Now they say they're just going to totally abandon the petrodollar, which will be really gnarly for us because our dollar is not based on gold. It's based on the oil out of Saudi Arabia. Which Lord have mercy. I mean, any country that does not have, a Jewish state bank or wants off the petrodollar, they tend to get invaded and the leaders tend to get murdered. Just look at Libya. Look what they've been trying to do forever and a day to Syria. Anyway, so this is like everything. There's so many things to be concerned about, and yet so many people are like, hey, I just gotta like get stoned and like watch some football, man, or just like some boob tube, and then oh, the homeless, they're all the problem. And do you ever notice? You probably don't. But whenever homelessness is brought up, it's always a problem. You always link problem with homelessness. You know what a problem is? Is the fact that you can't get loans on houses under $50,000. there are so many problems of homelessness, but homelessness in and of itself, like, if you would just put down the anger and all the laws that just harass your fellow citizens of the yin yang, that would be great. So you may think you're being nice, like the woods in this book. You may think that, like, oh hey, he needs some help. A little bit of help won't hurt anything, and it led to their destruction. Harassing and being so nasty to your fellow citizens while you embrace others is really nasty. It is leading to our destruction. Lord have mercy.